The food we choose today will affect our seas tomorrow. The world is at a point in time where there simply aren't plenty more fish in the sea. With over 3/4 of our global fish stocks either overexploited or fished right up to their limit, there are only a few fisheries that will be able to serve up to the planet's increasing demand for seafood. On a global scale, we still have some way to go in achieving sustainable fisheries. Habitat degradation, overcapacity, lack of infrastructure management, lack of stakeholder involvement, and a lack of public awareness has led to overfishing and a drain on other ocean inhabitants. Bycatch, which involves the unintentional capture of non-target species during fishing operation, kills hundreds of millions of animals every year, such as dolphins in tuna purseines, albatrosses in pelagic longlines, and sea turtles in shrimp trawls. Although a number of successful mitigation measures have been developed, the scope of the bycatch problem far exceeds our current capacity to deal with it. The highest rates of incidental catch of non-target species are associated. Shrimp trawl fisheries catch 2% of the world's total catch of all fish by weight, but produce more than 1/3 of the world's total bycatch. Increased concern for bycatch is reflected by a marked increase in research over the past few decades. However, there is still much more for us to learn. New development of gear and fishing practices, along with fishing effort reductions and reallocations, have aided in reducing bycatch and marine life in different ocean areas and fisheries. For example, the use of turtle excluder devices have reduced sea turtle bycatch in Australia's northern prawn fishery. Longline fisheries bycatch of seabirds and sea turtles have been reduced through gear modification and changes in fishing practices. For many different species and gear types, considerable progress has been made in reducing fisheries bycatch. Here we can see how seabirds feed in large groups just 2 kilometres east of Sydney Harbour. Short-tailed shearwaters and silver gulls are feeding on a school of fish, and as these shearwaters are able to dive up to 300 metres, it makes them a risk of becoming bycatch as they get caught in nets when they resurface. Of the 21 albatross species recognised by the IUCN on their red list, 7 are considered vulnerable and 3 are critically endangered, which means they are facing an extremely high risk of extinction in the wild. One of the main threats to albatross is commercial longline fishing, because the albatrosses and other seabirds are attracted to the set bait, become hooked on the lines, and drown. An estimated 100,000 albatross per year are killed, and unregulated pirate fisheries only exacerbate the problem. Aquaculture, or farming seafood, is often held up as the solution to the global fishing crisis, and indeed, the aquaculture sector is rapidly expanding globally. Over the last 20 years, world aquaculture fish production expanded by almost 12 times. However, with the continued requirement for wild-caught fish to feed fish grown in captivity, there is still a cap on how much farm produce can provide. So why is more bycatch research needed? Should we not just invest in mitigation to solve bycatch problems? In spite of years of bycatch study on threatened species, we lack a comprehensive picture of bycatch across species, fisheries, and ocean basins. These knowledge gaps persist due to a number of reasons. These include the diversity of taxa taken as bycatch, the wide range of environmental conditions in the world fisheries, differences in fishing gear and practices, the geographic extent of bycatch, political and economical obstacles to the study of bycatch, and challenges associated with studying long-lived marine species such as whales. The good news is that we can lessen our impact on our oceans by choosing our seafood wisely. Sustainable seafood is fish or shellfish that is fished with minimal impact upon populations or the wider marine environment. It's not just about the amount of fish left in the ocean that matters, it's the way in which the fish are caught, the impact on the seafloor, other marine wildlife, and how fishing affects the healthy and natural functioning of marine ecosystems. The Australian Marine Conservation Society works strategically with supporters across Australia and over the sea on the big issues facing our oceans, such as protecting our marine parks, making our fisheries truly sustainable, and protecting and recovering our threatened ocean wildlife. Help protect our oceans by making a donation and becoming a sea guardian. And if you want to find out more about choosing the right seafood, then you can download the Sustainable Seafood Guide app available from the iTunes Store, or download from www.sustainableseafood.org.au.